systems are a go.
Confirming all systems are a go. Launching the podcast.
3, 2, 1.
This is Hello from Mars.
Welcome to a brand new episode of Hello from Mars. You know, here we are starting a brand new week, and I did kind of warn you guys that something would be happening very soon, and that was the beginning of softball. I knew that I would be injured at some point, and there'd be some glorious story to go along with it. And if you're on YouTube, you can see I've got two fingers taped together because, hi, my name's Marissa. I'm very accident prone. No, I mean, really, the honest truth of it is that I put 1,000% into like everything I ever do. That includes softball, even maybe when I shouldn't, because here I am like breaking fingers. Game one, guys, like ridiculous, right? So the situation here is that I play second base. So there was this line drive hit that was definitely meant for the outfield, but I, in typical Marissa fashion, I dove for it. And the glove, like the ball was coming at such a speed that it hit my glove. And if I had closed it just like a little bit, like I probably would have grabbed it. But instead, it hit the glove right at the edge and just enough where it bent my pinky all the way back. Like I felt it in that moment. And I was like, yipe. But, I had stopped the ball. So I rolled over, grabbed it, flipped it to second, and I was like so close to getting the person out, but it didn't happen. So needless to say, game one, and I'm injured already. So this is going to be an interesting season. I have a feeling. I just do. Also, my day started with me having this shirt on backwards for like 3 hours. That's the blessing of working from home. Nobody notices it, but I still felt like an a-hole. So there's that. But let's jump into Tops in Pop for the week, shall we?
Tops in Pop.
I am quite the character, let me tell you. So Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello, I told you a couple weeks ago, like they had this person that broke into their house and just was like getting ready to, I don't know, hang out while they were there. That's what spooked this person. They got away with keys to Shawn's car. The car ended up being found eventually, but now neighbors in their neighborhood surrounding them are all beefing up security. And I don't blame them because that's a really creepy situation, right? Like they're probably in a gated community to begin with. I mean, they're celebrities, let's face it. So very weird situation. So I don't blame the neighbors to be beefing up security. Something kind of cool. Kid Leroy, do you know who he is? Like he's got this really cool song Without You that I've been playing on Mix in Boston. And from Australia, I'm assuming was not signed based on this news to any kind of record label, but now has a deal with Sony Music for $4.2 million because of the success that he's had. By the way, not even 18 years old yet. So yeah, living quite the life. And one of his songs is also going to be featuring Miley Cyrus very soon. So be on the lookout for that because that's going to be very interesting. Speaking of Miley too, by the way, I don't know if you saw the news where she's going to be the musical guest coming up on SNL, but it's been like blowing up on Twitter because people are mad. Elon Musk is going to be the host. I want that to just sink in for a second. Because he's not known for being an actor or a musician or anybody in entertainment, really. He's known for being a billionaire and Tesla. That's kind of it, right? So he has really no business being the host of this show. Why would we pick him? Why wouldn't you just have Miley do both? Because Miley is an actress and a singer. It makes so much sense. So that's what people online are petitioning for and trying to get him off of that show on May 8th, I believe, is when he's going to be hosting. So we'll see what ends up happening there. Obviously, it's definitely causing a stir. People are talking about it, and that's probably the whole reason he was put up as the guest host in the first place. Get people talking. It's working. And then also, let's see what else is going on. DMX, the funeral was over the weekend. Very emotional speeches by even some of his children. And Kanye West doing some good here too, by the way. He had this custom created shirt with DMX on it. and it raised $1 million that's going to be going towards the family. So may he rest in power at this point. He definitely had a life where he battled some demons, and now he can go ahead and fly his little DMX angel wings and put on some amazing shows wherever he might be right now. Caitlyn Jenner also, this is in the news, where she's going to be running for governor of California. I mean, there's probably other people that are more trusting or more qualified for the position. Really, the only celebrity I can think to throw in that spot is probably Oprah. And that isn't happening. That's not what we get. Instead, we get Caitlyn Jenner. So awesome. Let's continue talking about some pop culture stuff, because there was something that I noticed about Britney and TMZ this past week. Demi Lovato is very heavily in the news with the situation with the Froyo place and more. So let's bring my friend Coady back. He has been on the pod before. I met him in Boston. He's one of my bestest. So let's have him join and let's get to chatting, shall we? Coady, you're back. I'm so glad. I'm so happy to see your face. How are you?
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, I feel like, you, like my friend Beth, who was on last week, I feel like, whenever we get on FaceTime or on a phone call, it's like, better mark out a good hour and a half, because we're just going to keep filling each other in on stuff. You just never know.
It goes from 5 minutes to 55 and we're like,
wait, where did my Saturday night go? It's gone.
Yeah, I like that it's always Friday or Saturday night. I'm like, I'm doing nothing. I wonder what Marissa's doing.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, but that this means I have to ask this question, because I feel like every time I've spoken to you, or all of a sudden I see something random in my IG inbox or something, it has to do with Starbucks girl. And I must know if there's an update. And I want you to paint this picture real quick, because I just know that you got so excited. She knew your name.
Well, there's a Starbucks girl. I feel like I need to explain this backstory.
Yeah.
I go to the same Starbucks whenever I go to Starbucks. It's not every day, but I have like this weird car. Like, you've seen my car, I think. It's just massive. It's awful on gas. I hate it, but it was cheap at the time. And it's like identifiable, and my voice is kind of identifiable too a little bit. It's a higher male voice, I guess. I don't know. And I get up there and, hey, welcome to Starbucks. And it's like, boom, immediately. She's like, oh, she knows my name. She knows my order. It's like the same price every time. And I drive up, and then there's like a smiley face on my coffee, or like a have a good day on your Danish. And it's just, I don't know what the read is. I really don't. And then she disappeared for like 3 weeks, and I kind of thought she got fired. I may have got a coffee once for free. I mean, nothing. And then I never saw her.
Please don't leave these details out.
I'm leaving too many crumbs out there. But yeah, she is back. I saw her yesterday, I think.
Come on, I want to get this hooked up.
No, I don't think I do.
No.
No, I don't.
What's changed? The feelings changed. What, she was gone
the
for
smiley face has stopped. I'll leave it at.
What did you do to piss her off?
I didn't do anything.
But I mean, this whole Starbucks girl situation, like, it's been top of mind for me, though. Every time I go to hit you up, I forget to ask, but then I'm like, oh damn, Starbucks girl. And now I don't like this update. The smiling face.
I think the big thing that we jumped over is that I go through a drive-through Starbucks every time, and I don't walk in because I'm just lazy AF.
Maybe that's what it is. She realized how lazy you are.
She feels so bad for me, and she's like, "Wow, he's spending $6
he doesn't want to walk in, and he likes Danish." So
I do like Danishes or banana bread, or I like most things at Starbucks. It's pretty bad. My wallet doesn't appreciate it.
Yeah, all the carbs. It's totally fine. I mean, you could stand to eat a few carbs. It's fine.
Yeah, I know.
It's actually, hitting on food, because I'm a big IHOP girl. I haven't gotten to go to IHOP in a very long time now, just because of this pandemic, and I haven't been in a restaurant in a really long time. But IHOP is my thing. Did you see? I don't know who requested this, but they've got like this thick bacon thing. They've got it's thick. It's like thick bacon. It's like 2 inches wide bacon. And I'm just like, who the hell asked for this? How do you have your bacon? I don't want
You got me at thick. I'm ready at thick. I don't care how thick it is. It can be this thick. It can be this thick. If it's bacon, I'm there.
Yeah, because I like when I think bacon, I think thin and crispy bacon.
Oh, it has to be crispy. I guess it would be tougher to make it crispy if it's thick.
Right. Like, why don't you just have ham at that point? Like, I don't understand.
The biggest joke in the world is Canadian ham, and that's a completely different conversation. It's deli meat.
Yeah, that's not bacon. Like, I don't care who, like McDonald's tries to call that bacon. It is not bacon. So screw them. I mean, we could just keep on talking about food based on like the stuff that's been happening in pop culture. Because, well, I wanted to actually pick your brain about this because, you know, Jess has been on the podcast with me and like Bill has been on and we've talked about the whole Free Britney stuff. Right. Yeah. And like,
hi, Bill.
And this has been a whole thing. Like, I feel like new stuff keeps happening. Right. So like, this week I had this epiphany. I had this moment, right? This like moment of clarity. I feel like when it comes to Britney Spears and when it comes to TMZ,
dun, dun, dun.
Because here's what's been happening. Okay. So Britney went and she posted this video on Instagram and you may have seen it because I posted about it last week for the pod and she was answering our real questions, like legit actual questions we really asked, including one that was, are you okay? Mm-hmm. Because we've been asking that now, I don't know, 8 years. And she finally was like, okay, guys, I just want to let you know, I've been getting a lot of questions lately. Am I okay? I am okay. But it came across very staged, right? And
it came across staged. But the weird thing is, if you watch the video closely, I watched it 2 or 3 times. She looks to her left and then her right in a different amount, but I forget which way it is, but there's one way she looks and she just has this look of fear in her face. Like, is she allowed to say this or not? And I don't know. I think the movement of Free Britney, I'm so happy Twitter exists because of this, because I think I feel as if there is an issue going on. I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's something out there. And I feel like she's like desperate for help. And I hope that, she's okay, but my gut says something's going on.
Yeah, well, and if you just watch that video too, the way she's rocking, she's swaying as she just seems like everything about the whole situation seems completely different from the Britney that we saw with her boyfriend Sam when they went to get their COVID vaccine. Completely different vibe, like 1000% night and day. So here's what I noticed. We know like TMZ is all over everybody's shit, right? Like the moment something drops, it could be up for 30 seconds. They see it, they post it, they speculate, they pick it all apart and everything, right? Not that video.
No, not that
not
video.
That one.
And TMZ is the most accurate news source for news that we really shouldn't care about. But I mean, anything in pop culture, they are on top of it. I mean, you can go through story after story since the pandemic started. They've nailed everything.
Well, and I will tell you that they became a legitimate Hollywood gossip, like not even gossip, like Hollywood news site when Michael Jackson died.
Yep.
Because that is what I was on the air when he passed. And in Albany, I was the first person to make that announcement. My boss was like, go with it, go. And we were basing it off of TMZ because TMZ had been talking with his father all day. And I mean, I had people that were livid calling the station. They're like, CNN is still saying that he's alive. Like, what are you doing? And blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, but here's my reasoning. And turned out I was the first person in this area to announce that Michael Jackson had passed. And it was because of TMZ. So I look at them as, and I always have since that moment, as a legitimate Hollywood news source. But now I'm curious. Now I'm speculating because here's what I noticed with this video specifically is that Britney puts it up. Britney, I'll use air quotes. Britney puts this video up, right? She's swaying. Yeah. And she's, looking all sorts of uncomfortable and it just feels the way it does. And TMZ does nothing for like a full 24 to 48 hours of that. And then when they did post it, do you know what they did? Do you want to know what they posted? Did you see it?
I did not read that story, but no, tell me.
Okay. Yeah. They basically sided with the camp. They were saying, we've been talking to Britney's camp and like, she's okay. This is not a cry for help, blah, blah, blah. Why are we all of a sudden believing Britney's camp?
Yeah, I think there, and TMZ being one of them, but there's so many credible news sources out there. You look at the big ones, CBS, ABC, NBC, Fox, and CNN. I'm sure if you took one of them, and I'm guessing all five have, and they just sat down with Britney, they would give her the airtime, they'd allow her to talk. And we haven't seen that, which makes me think either there's a problem or something's being covered up. It has to be one of the two, because I'm sure Colton Underwood was on this week. Great announcement by him.
Yeah.
But they give him the airtime. I mean, in my eyes, Britney Spears is a bigger and more well-known celebrity.
Yeah. Well, I would say that her team, her camp is holding her back from doing any of that. But my curiousness has me speculating with this specific story of, again, they pick apart every celebrity. Like, you know, it could be like Demi Lovato posts something and 5 seconds later it's on TMZ. You know,
they're talking to the ice cream store at this point. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. The froyo. Well, we could talk about that too. Because like I have feelings, but I think my feelings are probably on Demi's side, and maybe I'm biased, but
no, I agree. Although I don't think I've ever had froyo, so I don't know what froyo is really, other than some kind of different ice cream.
So I'm wondering, because of how this was handled, is Britney's camp, again, I'm using air quotes, is Britney's camp paying TMZ to post something in their favor?
It'd have to be a lot of money. I mean, think about just how big she is. I mean,
she's got the money, and like,
no, I know that, but if she came out with an announcement, you know, good, bad, or otherwise, whatever it was, and then put out a song, you know, a couple of weeks after that, that's going to bring in as much money, if not more, than what they're paying them right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're probably on the right path. Maybe not 100%, but I feel like there's something going on that we're just
something fishy. And now I'm thinking TMZ is involved. So I
hope not, because I do like TMZ.
I know, like, I don't want to feel that way, but it's just too coincidental. I feel like it's almost too obvious. You know, it's kind of like when you see, because I've been watching a lot of Catfish, but you know, like, if somebody is not like allowing you to FaceTime, oh, my camera's broken. Like, it's so obvious that's a catfish. Like, that's not the real person in those pictures. Like, that's not who you're talking to. So in this case, if TMZ is picking every other celebrity apart, but then Britney posts a monumental announcement of I'm okay, and TMZ does nothing with it, how else can I possibly feel about this?
I don't know. I think I don't like saying we deserve answers, because I mean, we're not entitled to anything.
No,
but I just want to make sure she's okay at the end of the day. And I would want to make sure anyone, a friend, a family member, is okay.
Yeah.
When you are kind of suspective of everything going on, you know, financials and mental health, and, you know, what's the status of a relationship right now? Could that be abusive? We don't know. We really don't. It's all speculation.
It is completely speculation. And, you know, you're hitting the nail on the head a little bit here too. It's like, I just want to know that she's okay. And somebody might be like, well, she posted a video that said she's okay. I'm sorry. How many times have we seen somebody in an abusive situation tell somebody else they're okay? I'll raise my hand because I was in one of those. And I said I was okay because I felt like I could handle it. You know, so I don't know. It's so, like, I just keep watching as things are coming out. And part of me is like, you know what? I just got to stop. Like, I gotta stop caring, because obviously I can't do anything about it. And none of us really can. Like, I mean, we all gang up, we can all make a bunch of noise, but it's not really changing the situation, because we don't have any authority at all. Like, we can't make a judge make a decision in her favor.
Exactly.
So I don't know, but you know, you hit on this Demi Lovato froyo situation.
Again,
and
what is froyo?
Well, froyo is delicious, Coady. Just to
is it
put
all
it
ice
lightly.
cream?
Yeah, I mean, I want to look at it like the healthy version of ice cream, though I know that's probably full of crap. But it was a trigger situation for her over the weekend. So for somebody who maybe doesn't know what's going on, how you're missing it, I don't know. It's literally everywhere. And, I kind of feel bad, but I know that Demi kind of, digs her own grave in a lot of ways, a lot of times. And she knows that too. Like, she gets very passionate about things, and then she just kind of flies off a little bit. And then it's like, okay, whoops, my bad. Sorry. Do I say sorry, not sorry? I feel like that's cliche. But with this, she goes to this froyo place over the weekend with some friends, walks in, and immediately sees these like sugar-free, healthier choices. And the way they were labeled, I guess, just sent her over the edge, because it seemed like it was almost guilting somebody with picking froyo over the healthy options. And for somebody who has had an eating disorder and continues to fight that daily, with Demi Lovato, like, she had a trigger. I think any of us have triggers at some point with something that bothers us.
Oh, absolutely. One thing or another. I mean, there's always something that's going to bother you.
Always. I have situations like just at the job that we met at, I had come from a very abusive work situation. And then I went there and never heard from our boss, really, which then to me felt like I almost didn't matter, or like was doing something wrong, or, you make up all these situations in your head, and it really probably had nothing to do with him. I was the night show host. Nobody's talking to me at night. But it was because of the situation I had been in. So it's like, you have those residual feelings that continue, and you can try to heal as much as you want, but at some point, some of those things just stick around. And, when you're somebody like we had a couple of weeks ago, we talked all about female body image in Hollywood. I had Jess and Lori and on the pod, and, I think everybody in some way struggles with body image. We don't all necessarily have eating disorders, but we all struggle in a lot of ways.
And I think the fact that Demi's just so outspoken about her eating disorder that she's battled and addiction that she's battled, I think that's what makes her such an attractive artist to so many fans, because she's real. And yeah. The whole froyo thing, I'll be honest, I'm not 100% up to date with, but I know that she is outspoken, and if something bothers her, she's gonna just,
she's gonna let you know.
Yeah.
Let you know. But I like that about her, because I do feel like you need to stand up for what you believe in, and you need to stand your ground a little bit, in this specific situation, when you are triggered by something, your reactions might be a little bit harsher, because it's also involving feelings of a past situation. So, or something in her case that she's battling with right now. And like she said, she's like, I saw that, and then I changed my mind, and I didn't leave with the froyo that I wanted, because now I felt guilty, and now I felt the feelings of that eating disorder, and it like ruined the rest of her weekend, which is why she was so passionate about it over the weekend. But yeah, I mean, her and this froyo place have been going back and forth. There was like a rumor that her camp got involved. Here I am using that word camp again, but her people got involved, and that she was making like $100,000 donation to that froyo place. The froyo place is saying that is not accurate, and that they haven't heard from her people at all, and that their business has gotten hurt from this. But she did go on Instagram Live over the weekend, and she was all about wanting to have an open conversation about how things are labeled, because people were getting all over her, being like, oh, I'm sorry, did you forget diabetics exist, and like, celiac and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, no, I didn't forget that, but it's how things are labeled. So if you're labeling them properly, or for whatever reasons, then, people like her will not have those triggers. And I think that's the conversation she wants to have.
And I think food labels just in general are so misleading. Like, it'll say something like low fat, or I don't know, no sugar, but then you look at the ingredients and you're like, well, what am I eating instead? Or, you look at your Diet Pepsi and it says warning, there's, I don't know what.
No, don't tell me. I like Diet Pepsi. Don't
I've got so
ruin it
much
for me. That's my go-to when I need caffeine or like when I need some bubbles. Like, I don't want you to ruin it from, no, you know what I ruined for myself is my protein bars because they have more sugar than I expected, but they got 10 grams of protein and they do fill my belly. So, but I'm going to just like slow it down on the protein bars.
Not approved by the FDA.
Oh, wait, are they not? Are you?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Some protein, I think, is.
Peter, you know,
again, I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. You know, who the heck knows on some of these food labels? If I can't pronounce it, and I went to college, so if I can't pronounce it.
I went to college too. I can't pronounce half the things.
I went to a stats class and they were like, use a calculator. I don't, you know, my 10th grade teacher, God bless him, but he was like, you're never going to have a calculator in your hand. And I'm like, no, I really do.
That's funny because I have a whole computer in my pocket. So screw you. You know, this is what's really funny. Because you mentioned that, it just reminded me. So when I went to college, I was still incredibly shy. So like I was doing what I guess you would consider my backup plan, but was really like just my plan at that moment. Because I always liked entertaining, but I was so shy that like I wouldn't entertain anybody but the people I was comfortable with. So I went to college for art and my focus was photography and my teachers were awful. So I still can't figure out how to use like an actual SLR camera and whatever, but that's besides the point. Money well spent. And I just remember like when you would pick your classes for your schedule, I kept trying to take public speaking. That was my thing. Like I kept trying to take it because I feel like, first of all, everybody should take it. That should be that like everybody needs to do it. Right. But I was also trying to break myself of my shyness because I could not get up in front of people and speak. I was like a nervous wreck. And every single time they'd be like, Marissa, how many times do we have to tell you that this isn't a part of your curriculum? And I'm like, but how? How is it not? How? Right?
I love a lot of things that are in curriculum, but I think public speaking, if not once, maybe even twice, should be in there. I think general business should be in there. How the frick to do my taxes? Because God knows I don't know how to.
Don't even.
Like
I can't.
Basic things. I'm just, I don't know.
There's so many of these things that we use in life that we don't use that from school. Like I can't, but so they wouldn't let me take public speaking. So you know what I ended up doing was I took acting instead, which basically was public speaking in a different way. So I had my workaround, but isn't it weird? Like, look at what I've done for a career. It is literally public speaking. And I just want to go to that college and like knock on a door and be like, hi, I just want to like fill you in on some things. Because you got things a little ass backwards over here. Just want to point it out, like spending a lot of money. You're not letting me take what I want to take. There was also another situation at one point. This was like, God, probably like my first semester. I hated this teacher. So it was like a history class. And, some of these teachers, I went to a community college and some of these places were acting like I was at Harvard. I'm just like, really? So she would never put any notes up anywhere of what we were talking about. It was literally like, she would just spew knowledge and at like 1,000,000 miles a minute. So I had to buy a tape recorder. This is pre-iPhone, clearly, because otherwise I'd use my voice memo app. But every single time I had her, I would have to get the recorder out. I would have to play it. And then I would have to spend 2 hours at night, trying to figure out what the hell she said. And I remember going to like it was like a study class. We could go because there was a final coming up and she was going to hold this like extra class and whatever. And the class hadn't started yet when I had started this conversation of trying to figure out when I could study with this friend after class. And she starts talking and she's just assuming that I'm just going to stop because, she started talking. So she tried to kick me out like 30 seconds in. And I'm sorry, but like the Marissa, has always existed. So I looked right at her and I said, the hell I'm getting out of this class. I said, I'm pretty sure that I am paying you and I'm going to sit right here and I'm going to be here for my extra study session like I'm told that I'm supposed to have. I said, you want to know what we were talking about? We were setting up a time to study for your class. So go on.
Publix, let's
17,
add negotiation to that list too. I mean,
yeah, 17, 18-year-old Marissa, she also didn't like taking shit.
who does?
So what else has been going on for you? Like, has there been anything new show-wise that's like caught your attention?
I don't know if I told you this last time or not. I talked to you. I finished How I Met Your Mother. I know I'm way late to the party. Like this came out, I think I was in middle school when this started.
Can I be honest? I don't think I've ever watched it.
All right, so it's good. I wasn't thrilled with the ending. I won't spoil it, even though we're like 6
I think
years
there were a
later.
lot of people that weren't.
But I know that Hilary Duff, and I think I read this on Deadline,
Yes.
they're putting out I don't want to call it a sequel, but it's like a
Spin-off, reboot.
It's a spin-off, yeah. And it's going to be How I Met Your Father, because they ended, I think it's like either late 2020s or early 2030. So they're going to kind of look back on her perspective, and I think it might just be like one of those Paramount Plus Hulu series, but I don't know. I think it's cool that it's coming back.
It's
now
gonna
that
be on
I've
Hulu,
jumped,
actually. If I read correctly, it's going to be on Hulu. And I don't know how long they're planning on doing it. Probably want to see how it goes, but yeah, that is interesting. Like, because some of these shows, they try to reboot them and it just feels like not right.
yeah, like not necessary almost. Like The Office. I love The Office. I'm probably one of the biggest fans on there. Like everyone sends me memes and I'm like, oh God, it's another one. But I laugh every time, which is, it's me. But like, I don't want another Office. I know how the story ended, and anything after that's like, I don't know if we need that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, oddly enough, I feel like Roseanne, which the Connors, I feel like that kind of works. I don't know why it does, but it kind of does. But some of them just feel weird. Like I tried to watch Mad About You, and I got like an episode or so in, and I'm like, it just feels, I don't know, like I don't remember it being this boring. Like, and maybe it always was. I don't know. We were a much simpler people in the 90s,
But if I could go back to the 90s and wear overalls and just not care about much, like
I might throw my overalls on next. Who knows? I'll get my fanny pack out. Like these are all trends that have come back. But what's actually interesting? So you mentioned the 90s. Like I just started watching this show. It just started airing like within the last week. It's called Cruel Summer. It's on Freeform.
Okay.
And
is it about the song?
No,
okay.
No, but there's many songs called Cruel Summer. I think even Taylor Swift has one. This show, like the way there's something about it. I don't know. It's almost like murder mystery-esque, but there's no murder. So this girl, it's following this like couple, group of like high school peeps, and it's over the course, like what they're showing us is over the course of 1993, 1994, 1995, same time frame of each year, and how things changed and like what's happened. So the one popular girl gets abducted, but nobody knows she's abducted. She's just missing. And like this one girl starts off incredibly nerdy, and then all of a sudden like transitions and becomes like this really popular girl in place of the girl that's missing, like becomes friends with her friends, has her boyfriend, like whole thing. And then all of a sudden missing girl pops back up, and you can see this look of panic on the former nerdy girl. And it's like now trying to put all these pieces together. And I feel like there's a potential where they may have ruined the show for me in episode 2. I'm just hoping that's not the case. I say that because it's like they may have given away like what really happened.
Yeah, but is Hollywood that dumb?
I mean,
maybe, I don't know.
I don't know. We've seen
Pat Sajak gave away the answer the other night on the show.
What's that?
Pat Sajak gave away the final.
Yeah, I saw that. Right.
Did you see that? Yeah.
Yeah, and then nobody noticed it.
Nobody noticed.
Isn't that weird? Like how we just like become so oblivious to certain things. And I just feel like maybe Hollywood thought that we were all oblivious, but I'm not oblivious because I watch a lot of TV, binge watch a lot of things. So I'm just kind of hoping that there's a twist coming. Like, they're trying to show me that this is what happened, but just kidding. Like there's something else. So, because if it is that there's something else, then this could get very good. So that's just one of those new shows that I'm watching. So it's called Cruel Summer.
Okay.
Jessica Biel's involved in it too. She's not on camera, but she's like behind the scenes as an executive producer. So I don't know if that means that she had anything to do with like the brainstorming and like the thought process of how the show was going to go out, or if she's like behind camera, or how that works. Cause I'm not into.
And she could star in it at some point later. Who knows?
Possibly. Who knows? She might pop up and reboot her character of Mary from Seventh Heaven. Who knows?
So Cruel Summer, Big Brother this summer. Is that happening still?
Is it? I don't know.
I haven't heard anything, but I know it's always in the summer. And we're on like what, season 22 or something. Like I just got into it last year and I'm thrilled. Like of course I was rooting for Coady the whole time.
I can't understand why.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that comes back. I know there's 2 Bachelorettes. Rumors it ends after this. I heard that yesterday from Blake Hortzman, I think is his name. Balake. I don't know.
Balake. Can they get away with ending The Bachelor and Bachelorette? Do you think people are going to be okay with that?
See, I don't know. I really don't. I think they're almost done with filming Katie season because I heard Hometowns have happened. Again, I another show I didn't watch until a couple of years ago. And now I'm like,
too much about The Bachelor and Bachelorette. I don't know if I've ever watched an episode of that either, because I said this last pod, like, I don't like the, hey, let's line some people up, eeny, meeny, miny, ho. Like, I don't like that. Like, I don't like dating in general. So that form of dating just makes me kind of go, I'm gonna pass.
I would like a little diversity personally in the contestants. Like, I don't know, like, I wish I kind of looked like some of these people, and I don't. And there's no one on there that kind of does. I don't think any have facial hair. They all have like that TikTok glow, and they're a model.
Remember, back in the day, like they had on Fox, they had The Average Joe, but he was like the Average Joe millionaire. But it was all like just a fake thing, and he wasn't really a millionaire. It was just some like kind of chunky couch potato looking guy, and the girls were so duped. That was a long time ago. That was a long time ago, but I would suggest you find that on YouTube or something, because that was pretty funny. Like to know, because I mean, it was just watching gold diggers go after this average Joe for his money. You know, it's oh God, we're
some good contestants.
A horrible society, you know.
Oh, I know. Oh, wake up. And I think Dancing with the Stars, the rumor is that Tom Bergeron's coming back. So I don't know if that's happening or not, but I don't think ratings were too good when he wasn't there. So
probably not.
Probably
not at all.
And he's quirky too, but he's kind of the whole show. So
yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like if Big Brother is coming back, I definitely want you to come back so we can talk about it. Because I'm just as into it as you are. You know, I tried to get on that damn show. I don't know how to do it. And I don't think I'm controversial enough by any means.
I think that's the problem.
I know, I gotta be controversial. I hate drama. So no, thank you. Save that for somebody else. But before I let you go, I want to ask, because things are kind of moving in a better direction, right? So like, you know, we've got some people now at these basketball games and baseball games and stuff. And, you know, we're getting a little bit more lax because people are getting their vaccinations and stuff. What is Coady looking forward to do this coming summer that he couldn't do last summer?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I went to the beach last year. I had to wear a mask there. That was kind of odd.
That can form some Homer Simpson like tan lines, you know?
Oh, I got burnt because I fell asleep. And like I have to wear those big sunglasses for like the next week.
Oh God.
Yeah, I mean, like going to Fenway, I'd love to go to an outdoor concert at least. I think that would be fun at Xfinity, one of the Xfinities, Massachusetts or Connecticut.
Yeah, that would be good. I want to get to a concert sometime soon. You know who I saw? Jake Miller just announced a tour, and the tickets.
I saw that.
Tickets are on sale. So like I was curious what ticket prices would look like. Because this show is not the one that I'm looking at isn't happening till the fall. So it's like, you know, October-ish. And it's like, I don't know, what kind of capacity are we looking at here? Is that going to change the ticket fluctuation in price? And, he's always been a guy who's like $20, $25 for tickets. And
Yep.
so I just wasn't sure what to expect. And tickets are only $20, 25-day of show.
Oh, okay.
So that makes me feel pretty good, because I'm like, okay, so at least I don't have to worry about, not being able to afford things when we finally can do things.
Where is the show?
I know he's going to be playing in Massachusetts, in the Boston area, in Alston. Brighton
Music Hall.
Yeah, Brighton Music Hall. And then he's going to be at Upstate Concert Hall, which just moved in from Clifton Park to Albany, New York. So, and that's, October 6th and 7th, because whenever somebody comes here, they go to Boston or vice versa. That's just how it works out.
Yeah.
It's kind of like me. If I'm not here, I'm there. And so that's just how it works out. But all right, cool. Well, I know that you got back on the air recently. Are you streaming? Can people listen to you?
I am. I haven't even announced it yet. Oh my God.
Well, make it official.
Yeah, I am on, it's a brand new station on Cape Cod. It is called, or the numbers are 1023, X1023, and you can listen at x1023.fm every weekday.
Okay, and is this on a different app, or is that their own app?
That's just the website.
Okay,
yep.
So it's just
the website.
It's for an app.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for an app or not. I'm sure there's one being developed right now.
It's probably in the works. So very good. Well, I'm glad that you're back on and you can, have some fun on the air. Because listen, I know that when this pandemic hit, and I was all of a sudden, I went from having 3 stations to none. I felt like a giant piece of me was missing. So I know how that feels. So it's really exciting when we start moving in the right direction and getting back to where we belong. So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. There's so many radio people that deserve jobs out there. So I'm hoping that, with COVID and summer and getting back to normal, that people like yourself and everyone else out there get full-time stuff, because they're definitely well deserving. And you're on Mix.
Yeah, look at us. Oh, we have so much to celebrate. I should go get the champagne.
Saturday. I
need to know your feelings. I need to know what you think about this Britney situation. If you are a free Britney-er, did you have this kind of mind-blowing moment this past week too, where all of a sudden it's just like, why is TMZ not posting about this? They post about everybody. Why not this? Why did it take so long? I'm a little confused. And I feel like, maybe I noticed something that they were hoping we wouldn't notice. But yeah, it just seems very odd. So would love to know your feelings. Make sure you hit us up on the socials. Just search Hello from Mars podcast or Marissa on the radio. And brand new episodes are coming, guys. So we'll be back coming up next week here with Hello from Mars. Please be good to each other and keep staying safe. Talk to you soon.
Oh, hey.